was a press release from the White House. They said they want to achieve everybody vaccinated and every country at least 70%. 70%. So they're trying to find ways to achieve their goals.
Going back to history, that's where the discrimination of cannabis came from.
Yes.
Because a lot of Mexicans was bringing hemp to the U.S. They used to make cloth, plastic, clothes, even biodiesel.
They should know the metes and bounds. They should have their deeds. They should know where to get this information.
And when Nazri speaks about, that we're already behind the education system, there are some schools that they were moving in a good direction.
How can we mold boys into good men? Society in crisis.
That's the game with the road. We probably now with bloody politicians will play that game there and think everybody fool. Tell everybody what you do, and if you get money, share it with me now. Share it. But
you think they understand?
Most of them don't even know where they go on. That's the game with the road. We probably now with bloody politicians.
Society in crisis.
So they're trying to find ways to achieve their goals.
Looking for the ultimate sea view getaway? Then see Belize Vacation Rentals and Tours, located at 5 miles Philip Boson Highway near the Halover Bridge, is your perfect sea view getaway. Come relax in one of our beautiful air-conditioned sea view apartment, studios, sea view rooms.
Good night, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. We're live in studio, and again, it's a lovely Tuesday night, and we're in Belize. It's 7 p.m. I want to say good night to all our viewers and all those listening in on the TV, so Max Television and Radio. I want to say good night to all you guys watching and listening also on Max Television and Radio. Good night. And of course, for all those who may have loved ones or friends who are not a part of Facebook, again, just want to remind you that you can inform them to watch it on Max TV and Radio. All right? It's throughout the country. It's in every district, town. So go ahead and look on your schedule and tune in on television if you choose to. I want to say good night to all our Facebook viewers, some who have entered into the live so that sometimes they give their comments, and also to those who are just watching and who have not entered the live. I also want to say a good night to all of you, all those watching on Instagram, of course those watching on YouTube, Twitter and LinkedIn. Good night, everybody. All right, tonight's show is something that I feel is necessary, simply because, and I will tell you that I do want to end this show at 8 o'clock. So I have already scheduled to end the show at 8 o'clock. So I want to try and get through with what I want to speak. However, I will still, I will be watching the comments, because of course the comments are always very helpful, and it's great engaging with you, our viewers. And in this case, it's those on Facebook who normally I engage it. I should get on YouTube and try to engage, or LinkedIn, Twitter, and so forth, but Instagram, but I normally engage on Facebook. So I want to say a pleasant good night, Nancy De Paz. Good night, my friend. Chester John Cod. Good night. Leroy Matura. Good night. All those watching, I want to say good night. Now, why the topic of the show was simply because I was sent a video by one of my friends living in Los Angeles, and he normally sends me videos. He's good like that. He's someone, sometimes he knows things before me. A lot of times I get my news through him. He'll send it to me. They're very in tune with he's very in tune with what's happening in Belize, and so he always shares that such information with me. And so he sent me this video, right? And he said the video was of two Rasta African Americans who, was informing why, they were not going to stay in Belize. And that prompted me to do this show because I feel that a lot of times people, they choose to come to Belize, but they don't know really what to expect. And before they do that, sometimes it's good to do your homework, do your research. Obviously, these people didn't do that. Just from what they did, they really did not do their homework. I'm not going to show their video because I don't want to, I'm just mentioning what prompted me to do this show. However, what I noted was that they did not do their homework. And as someone who has been in the tourism industry for so long, I feel that, and on the real estate industry, and of course I've traveled throughout the world, I feel that, people, before you go out and choose to relocate to another country, you have to do your homework so that you don't end up afterwards, not feeling good or bad-mouthing the place because of your own inadequacy. And that is the case. And I'm not one to normally comment to people's posts and all that. I try not to do that. There was another video, YouTube video, that I saw this person, just generalizing. There was a tour done in Belize. Again, not sure if it's African, I believe they're African Americans who came down and they did this tour, and it was the person who did the tour, I don't believe it's a registered tour guide. I don't believe he is, definitely. He was just, leading them behind the bacales. And anyway, the name of their YouTube video was not, was what they don't want to tell you or something to that nature, and what they don't want you to know. And I just felt that was, blessed good night, Christelle, then blessed good night, Christelle. And I felt that when these people upload these videos, of course it was a clickbait title that they gave it, both of these individuals. They do it because at the end of the day, when they go on YouTube, they do it to try and make money. That's why they do it. I can't tell you that that's why I go on YouTube. I go on YouTube simply because it's the avenue that some people go to. They don't want to be a part of Facebook, and they beg me to go, that I go on YouTube. But truthfully speaking, I'm more on Facebook, even though Facebook always blocks me. I guess I just have to really get out there. YouTube has blocked me. As a matter of fact, for 2 weeks we were blocked because of one of my videos that I had done. I'm always blocked on YouTube, so I'm pretty used to that, right? However, I don't think this video will allow them or will give them any ammunition to block me, because it has nothing to do with what they normally block me for. All right. And so I wanted to address those. I felt it necessary because I always see that as somebody who is also in the tourism industry and the real estate industry, I know that people will speak about Belize and Belizeans based on what was told to them. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not accurate. But, as the former mayor of Belize City, I will do my best to try and at least shed some light in certain areas. And of course, you are viewers, most of you are Belizeans, so again, you can shed your lights. Now, some of the things that were mentioned and have been mentioned, and I just felt that I wanted to address it again. Yes, Leroy. One they mentioned, of course, about one of the main things that they always mention about is the fact that, and to a great extent, they'll mention about Belize City, but they'll mention about the crime situation. And like I always tell them, and I always tell my guests when they would ask about it, I tell them, listen, Belize does have crime, just as all countries have. I'm not aware of any country that does not have crime. However, Belize also, and then they'll mention about Belize City. All right. Belize City, definitely, they do have crime, and I will tell them also that, you know what? Belize City has crime, particularly in particular pockets of the city. I know it's reaching out into other parts of the country, but to me it's not rampant in other parts of the country, but there has been escalation in particular pockets of the country. And in Belize City, primarily, when we hear about violence, and I said primarily, listen good, I'm not saying that's always the case, because there have been innocent persons who have been caught in the crossfire. But to a great extent, it has been gang related or in gang territory, or due to, persons defending themselves as well. So sometimes it's even vigilante justice. When it has to do with tourists, to me it's very rare, and I don't really hear much violence against tourists, particularly homicide in Belize City, and I just don't hear much. I'm serious, I don't. Sometimes you'll hear it in other parts of the country, definitely in other parts of the country you're gonna hear, sometimes in Corozal, sometimes in Hopkins, whichever you're gonna hear, and sporadically, Cayo, but it's sporadically, it's not something that, to me, in San Pedro, it's not something that is the norm. It is a one-off. In many instances, it's definitely a one-off. It's not something that is more than, for example, I did my master's degree in Detroit, Michigan. And now Detroit is known as and has been known as one of those major cities in the US. I mean, it has been a very prosperous city. It was once one of the most prosperous city. I mean, it's the car manufacturing, mecca. It was the place where, you have GM, General Motors, Ford Motor Company. Of course, you have different car entities, Visteon, and the point is that it was very well off. A lot of the car manufacturing has gone out of the country, and you do have particular areas that were left with, abandoned neighborhoods, abandoned communities. During my time there, it wasn't really bad like that. I mean, a lot of my schoolmates, they were employees of these car companies, a lot of them. But I bring up Detroit because I lived there. And I lived in Washington as well. And I'll tell you that they too had crime, maybe not as much. And of course, in Seattle, Washington is different from Spokane, Washington. Seattle, Washington had more crimes. However, and of course, I've spent so much time in Los Angeles, in Houston, Miami, just different parts of the country, just different parts of the country I've spent a lot of time in. And these cities, these major cities, also have crime. And especially in California, you go into certain California is known in particular areas, especially if you live in Los Angeles. You know fully well that's where the Crips and the Bloods began. You know fully well that is where a lot of drug addicts are. In Philadelphia school, a lot you walk along, it's despicable. It's a lot of homeless people. It's not a beautiful place in a lot of the areas. What you see on TV is not what you're gonna get when you get there. And yes, I've spent a lot of time in California, so I can tell you that. And I have family still living there. I have my family still living there. So when I see Americans, whether black or white, however, I will tell you that I've seen the majority of negativity coming from Black Americans, which is disappointing. And even when it comes to my tourists, when the white Americans, for example, they will ask questions, and I tell them, they come and they enjoy themselves and they give 5-star reviews. For some reason, some, and I say some, not all, some of the Black Americans, they come here, and I don't know what's some of their issue. I don't know if it's the chip on their shoulder, the grudge. I don't know how they're treated in the USA. However, they come here, a lot of them, not all, but they come here with, to me, a chip on their shoulder, and they expect way too much. They come here and they act as though they're better than us Belizeans. They come here and they expect so much, and sometimes I will question them, because that's what I do. I will question them and ask them certain questions, and sometimes I find out that it's all the money they had that they tried to get to come visit, versus a lot of times you will see the white Americans, they come here and that's not an issue, so they don't make simple things bother them. You understand? They're not looking to every little thing they will look at to complain about. And that is from experience. And I really have been honest here, and I don't care if anybody takes offense to it, because I am telling a fact. And so when these particular individuals, they will speak about certain things about Belize without doing their homework. For example, this particular couple, right, has a family, 5. And they did not do their homework. It's obvious that they are citified people. They are persons who would have done well in a city. You see? So when they chose to go live in Punta Gorda, which is in the far south of Belize, obviously they didn't do their homework, because we all know and we love our Punta Gorda. My father is from Punta Gorda. My father is from Cattle Landing, right where they were living. And I will tell you, so Punta Gorda I hold dear to my heart. But at the same time, you can't expect a Punta Gorda. You can't come from a major city and come to Punta Gorda and expect the same thing. You can't even come to Belize City and expect the same thing. And that's because Belize City is a larger city. It has more options than Punta Gorda. So why on God's green earth would you go to Punta Gorda? Either you're stupid, ignorant, or lazy, that you did not do your homework to know that, you go to Punta Gorda, or you go to Toledo in general, because it's not even only Punta Gorda. In Toledo in general, that there will be certain things that are not your usual. You won't get all the options that you would, for example, in a main metropolis. You won't. You simply will not. You're not going to get your Walmart. If you come here expecting Walmart, you're an idiot. Do your homework. If you come here expecting Burger King and McDonald's and all these major department stores. Forget about it. That's not what we have. You understand? We used to have our HL's burger. You know how Longsworth used to have his delicious burger, the most delicious burgers. You understand? You weren't going to come here and find your Burger King or your McDonald's. You're not going to come here and find Walmart or Costco. You're going to come here, you're going to find your Brody's, you're going to find your Sayview, you're going to find your Public supermarket, your DK supermarket. You understand? Or whatever, Landis, or whatever it is, Vegas distributor. That's what you're going to find. That's what you're going to find. And we're fine with that. Sometimes I will tell you, I am one of them who, because I've lived abroad for such a while, yes, even myself, I would be like, man, I really need this. I can't get it, especially for my vehicles. I have my vehicles right now, and I'm telling you, to get a part, sometimes it's not easy. I have to send abroad to get that part. So the options, yeah, that's it. We do import a lot. So understand that. But the most foolish thing you could do is to say that you're going to come from a major city and going to go live in Toledo and expect that you're going to get the same options. You just won't get it. So forget about it. Think about other parts. You're black and you have in Rasta and you complain that you don't have any options when it comes to vegetarian food. I didn't see any of their hands crippled. And there's a lot of vegetables. But if you had such an issue, instead of complaining, there's many places in Belize that you could have gone to where there were more options. You understand? Many more places in Belize City. We have vegan bites. We have different places that would sell vegan food. And we have lots of vegetables. We're right by Belize River Valley, so they bring in all their vegetables. We have our farmers market. We have our different farmers market. Vegetables, fruits and vegetables are not an issue for us. So when you're going to come here, this particular person was a big fat person. I don't know, he's like 400 and something pounds. Now he's like to 200 and something pounds. He should be lucky that Belize helped him to become a bit healthier. He should be lucky. He complains about, oh, there's only rice. You're an idiot. You're an idiot for saying that it's only rice. You're a dumb idiot. When in fact we have so much vegetables. You're stupid. And again, I'm not going to show the video because, but I have to say, I really have to say, because I watched it and I was like, look at these idiots. Look at these idiots. You see? You're going to complain about no vegetables? You're an idiot. There's no vegetarian food. Well, cook. If there's not a lot of vegetarian restaurants in Punta Gorda, you should have cooked. And you're not rich. It's obvious you were not rich. From the time you're going to leave a city, and instead of going and live in, for example, San Pedro or Placencia or Hopkins or Keokuk or one of the more tourist area, but you're going to go live in Punta Gorda, it's because you didn't have any money. And you stated that in one of your videos, saying that, well, you had to live on a budget. If you knew you had to live on a budget, then expect it. And see, that's the issue. A lot of them will come down here with little to no spending money, but expect so much. So much. They come and they stay at particular places or go to particular restaurants where the food is cheaper, but they expect food or whatever at a higher level. No, man. When you're in the US, and I can tell you, you can't go, for example, to, let's say, Red Lobster is still okay, but you can go to Red Lobster and expect that, it's a 5-star restaurant. Yeah, you're going to get okay food, but it's not a 5-star restaurant. You see, it's not a 5-star restaurant. And you can go, for example, to an Olive Garden. Olive Garden is nice, but there's way nicer Italian restaurants. So the point is that it's foolish when these people come, and sometimes we have to really address these, because when they put out these foolish videos, and you have certain Belizeans, it's very unfortunate that you had a bad time, and I hope you will not discourage, that won't discourage you from coming back. No, man! You inform these people that outright, you ought not to have gone to that particular part of the country if you had an issue with it. You ought not. That it's like you knowing fully well, we tell you that particular areas of Belize City are hotspot for gang-related activities, and you still go there and live. You still go there, and then you complain. You will go on YouTube for the whole world to see, trying to make money, because that's what they're trying to do. That's why I'm not even going to, I'm addressing it because I feel I have to. But I don't even want to mention their name, because just by mentioning their name, it will give credence to them, and it will, like, you know, they're gonna, the algorithms will gonna help them so that they get paid off of dissing us, because that's what I see it. It doesn't matter how they want to laugh with it. Me, I don't take anybody laughing and grinning like at me as no reason to just laugh back at you. I'm gonna address it. I'm gonna address it outright. Let me just read these comments quickly before I go to the other one. Yes, Leroy Matura. He said, shooting, I'm like Bun Boy. Kikakar, the blessings. We have every healthy thing you can think about. Good night, Evanir Mai. Yes, that's true. Good night, Charlotte Ferguson. Good night. And I know you're watching all the way from Texas, from Houston, so good night. So what I want to tell you too is that, so that's as it regards to that. All right, so I spoke about the crime, and I told you that these major cities have just as much crime as Belize. Maybe our country, it may come off because we're smaller, and yes, we do have, it is a fact in particular areas of Belize City. But if you go to these larger cities, they too have big crimes. So don't be knocking our country like that. Don't be knocking it. See? And if you're going to knock it, put it in perspective. Don't be generalizing the entire country either. Like these people, they generalize. Did you know these people even said that we don't even have street addresses? I'm telling you that they could even send for people to send any addresses, mails, posts to them. That's how stupid these people were. No, as far as I know. You know, I was born, and I think it was 16 Pelican Street, and then I moved to George Street, and then I moved to number 2 corner, Sarso and Ebony Street. I've always lived on a street with a house that has numbers. So when these fools are going to be saying nonsense like that, it's like, come on, man. Come on. I'm glad to see you, Geraldo. Good night, my friend. Good night, Carmen Nunes. And Geraldo, I know you're in Toledo. And so you know fully well that there's a lot of vegetables in your area. There's a lot of fruits and vegetables. So when these individuals will be saying nonsense that they had to leave because there's no food options, it's ridiculous. It's really, and they're vegan, so there's no vegetables. It's ridiculous. So again, they speak about $100 fee to live after the month that you're here. Now listen, it's a fact. Belize doesn't want a whole pile of poor people to come here. And why would we? Why should Belizeans, if you can't pay that 100, I believe it's US, to come to stay after, all right? Because they complain about it, it's every month. All right, that's what the government charges. But you do understand there's a reason for that. Imagine We already have limited medical resources. We already have limited resources to infrastructure. And you're going to have these people come in and use up that resources, dirty the streets, and nothing they will pay towards it. Nothing they're going to pay. Listen, when I was the mayor of Belize City, the reason why I fought to ensure that we got a portion of the tourism head tax was because I knew fully well that if 1 million tourists pass through Belize City, what do you think is going to happen to our streets, all the vehicles that have to run up and down with them, all the garbage that they're going to leave behind? You understand? And whatever else. And yes, I do understand they're going to eat. Sometimes they eat on land, and sometimes they go back to their ship. But the point is, there's a cost to that. And you're not just going to come here and not pay anything. And that's why I ensured that the Belize City Council got their due fare. And as a matter of fact, I would have, if I could have ensured that we got more, we're going to get more. Because that was my right to ensure that Belize City, was treated fairly. So when the government charges that money, it's because they have to ensure that money covers these people when they are here. A lot of them, they will stay somewhere. They won't be there. Yes, they may be paying taxes, GST when they buy goods. A lot of them, when they retire, they come here and there's this retirement incentive program. They bring things in and it's an incentive, so fine. But they bring things in duty free. They drive around, they continuously, sometimes they get things duty free while we are struggling. So the point is, Belize doesn't need any poor person to come live here. We have enough. Don't you know that? We have enough. Our poverty rate is high enough. Why do we need anybody else who cannot afford to come here and contribute to it, to come here? Stay in your country. Stay. So that is as it pertains exactly Heralo. Heralo says Toledo growing cacao. Yes, my friend, I know you guys have been doing that. And good night, Swayze Aries. And I know that Toledo does have vegetables. I've been to the markets there. I will tell you to the market there, and I will tell you they do have vegetables. And I've had friends who I see them growing their vegetables too, and so much into it. So when you're going to talk foolish things like that, it was just a turn off for me. Now, when it comes to high-end product, I spoke about that and the options. I told you about those high-end department stores. So get it in your head, all those who may be choosing to come here. If you want high-end products, understand that yes, you're going to get some, but some others, we have people who order, and people do order. That's why you have a lot of prominent entities that order. You understand? And I will tell you on Facebook, we have had a whole lot of our industrious women and some men, and you will see them being the ones telling you that they can order your stuff. Yes, a lot of them is closed, but there's some who will order other items and they'll tell you. But they are there and they can order stuff. And yes, we do use Amazon. Some of us do use Amazon. So it's not like, oh, you could not get your stuff. No, man. As a matter of fact, when you're in the US now, most people, they order their stuff. They order their stuff. They don't go into store and they get their stuff. That's why Amazon has overtaken, especially after the lockdowns. Amazon went up through the roof. A lot of department store, Kmart and all of them, a lot of them went out of business, or a lot of their outlets went out of business. And that's a fact. That's a fact. So Walmart, Walgreens, Amazon, those are entities, Alibaba, those are entities that went up. Technology-based ordering companies, they went up. Now, when you speak about fast pace, or you speak about go slow, thank you very much, Gonzalo, Ismail Hareda. Thank you, and good night, Nelly Young. I will tell you, that in Belize, if you want things done fast, listen. I know that sometimes you will want things done fast. If you want things done fast, you just have to know who to contract your work to. You will have to ask, check, Google who to contract out work to if you want things done faster. Because yes, certain things are done slower. Certain things are done slower. But when it comes to construction, there are certain construction companies who I feel does a great job. And I will be first to tell you that my brother's construction company, SM Construction, Silvino Moya Construction, has done an awesome job and has built Diamond International schools, a lot of things, worked on certain entities for BEL, Belize Electricity Limited, Belize Water Services Limited, has done awesome work. Work on particular hotels, of course, build my house, my building, done a lot of work. You understand? Build different homes for the all different work, all different pools he has built, not only my one, other people's pools. So you get what you pay for. You just have to seek out good contractors. Seek out good contractors. You understand? So that is, as I want to tell you, that not all contractors will be working fast paced, but again, you get what you pay for. They are good contractors, and I can tell you that for a fact, because I'm very pleased with my house. Very, very pleased with my house. It's beautiful. He designed it, because he did do his degree in architectural technology as well as building and civil engineering. So he designed it, and he and his crew built it. And I'm very pleased, and all the many different buildings. He built, what was this place, with dolphins as well. So the point is that he is somebody who has experience and will do the work. But you have to be able to seek persons like him, and you will have to seek out others like him. Just seek out others like him, ask questions, but don't be knocking the entire, like those who construct. That is ridiculous, man. If somebody didn't put 2 screws in a hinge, you understand? Don't be saying as well generalize things, because not everybody does sloppy work like that. So that is as it pertains to that. Yes, good night, my friend. Good night, Ruben Martinez. So I want to say also that, okay, another thing, some people will come here thinking that it is cheap. No, it is not. Belize as a whole is not as cheap as in many of the Central American countries. It is not as cheap as them. All right? Maybe with the exception of Costa Rica, probably, maybe. But the rest, to a great extent, to me, is a bit cheaper. But you will come here because it's the English speaking. We're closer to the US, so you have to look at that too. We're closer to the US, so even if you want to go back and forth, let's say you're from North America and you want to go back and forth, you will also know that it will be cheaper. All right? So you have to look at the different areas. We import a lot. Depending on where we import it from, we do have to pay duties, and so taxes, duties, so that comes at a cost. So it will not be as cheap. I see some of my friends, sometimes they will tell me about some awesome low prices in the US, right? Especially when they have these Black Fridays. We import things. To a great extent, we import a lot of stuff. And so it is not easy for us to offer such low prices for many of those items. But in other areas, we offer, like, our vegetables are way cheaper. Our fruits and vegetables are way cheaper than, for example, in North America. It's way, way, way cheaper. So certain things, and when you go do your dental work, when you go do your whatever additional, services, it's cheaper in Belize. And that's why you will see a lot of people coming down to Belize to get their dental work done or to get other services done because it's cheaper in Belize. You see? So in areas where we can offer cheaper stuff, we do offer cheaper stuff. You see? It's what you call comparative advantage. And so certain areas, larger countries, where they have assembly lines for certain high-end items or big items or more technological items, you can understand that they will be able to offer it cheaper, because by the time it lands with us, we have to pay first of all to go buy it over there. We have to pay for the shipping, we have to pay for the handling, we have to pay for the exchange rate, we have to pay the duty, the excise duty, we have to pay, the environmental tax, we have to pay custom brokers, whatever, to go pick it up again. You understand? So delivery and shipping here. So it does come with a cost. All right, to use your credit card, that's another cost as well. So there's a lot of costs that go into importing stuff, buying stuff from abroad. And so that needs to be looked at, okay? That has to be looked at. And worse, if you live on the islands, for example, San Pedro, Turnip Island, Keycocker. Why? Because then they have to use a barge. They have to use a ferry. They have to be able to, again, try to get it landed there. So that's an additional cost. So you can't say, the same price that you buy it at Home Depot or Lowe's in the US, that you will be able to get that same price here. It just won't happen. So just use your common sense and understand that. Now, the mosquitoes, all right? Yes, that's why people used to say about mosquito coast, no-see-ums, they call it no-see-ums. Especially in the south, they call it no-see-ums, the sandfly. And people with, it is said people with blood type O positive are very susceptible to getting the burden of those bites. All right, like people like me, because that's what those mosquitoes, those sandflies, that's the blood they like. That's what it said, O positive blood. And so it is an issue. So understand that when you come here, you're gonna have to use maybe your long sleeve white shirt, or you spray your hands, you understand, with DEET or whatever, a mosquito repellent. Or you just kind of stay away from outside when it's feeding season, the feeding time around 5:30, 6 p.m., whatever, 6:30 p.m., around that time. Just stay, and early in the morning as well, 5:30, 6 in the morning. Those are other times too. So just watch that. But again, it is an issue. So if that will be something that you have an issue with, then it's understandable, but just know that it happens. And so you don't come here and be saying that, oh my God, we're full of mosquitoes, because we're telling you, it is there, it is an issue. Sometimes there's no mosquitoes. I live by the sea, and there are certain times, no mosquitoes, and you fully well know it's because of the breeze. And certain times there's just no mosquitoes. Sometimes we have what you call Dr. Fly. So again, that's an issue. Now, let me watch the time because I've been, all right, 7:45. All right, labor. Certain labor may not be dependable. When you're gonna hire certain labor, it is true. Some will be dependable, some may not be dependable. So if you're gonna hire, let's say, a single mother with a few kids, just know that there will be times when if that single mother, and I'm saying mother because usually it's women, they don't have somebody to take care of their kid, or let's say they have a boyfriend and the boyfriend is to take care of a child, but the boyfriend is acting up, then you won't have that worker for a day, 2 days, 3 days, some days. That's a fact. I can tell you that's a fact. And yes, it will be frustrating because if you're not used to it and you can just call a temp, it will be an issue. So just know that that is an issue. But the good thing about it is, if you get a good worker, then look at it as a plus, especially if in fact that they always show up to work. It's just that's not the norm that they always skip work. You understand? But to say that everybody is lazy or people don't work, or to say, you know, people are not professional, generalize it, don't do it. Don't do it, because there's a lot of us who are extremely professional, whether we're single mothers or single fathers. We are extremely professional, and if in fact we're not gonna show up, let's say we're not gonna show up for a meeting, in my case, I will call and let you know I won't be able to make it beforehand. All right, and that's the thing. So us as Belizeans, we just need to always remember that there will be that professional aspect that we have to look at. That yes, there will be times when there's emergencies, but try to do the right thing and contact your employer. Tell them that you will not show up for work, and don't give anybody reason to give the entire country a bad name. Do not do it. Be professional. You see, I know a lot of us cuss. We grew up cursing and our mouth is dirty. You understand? It's an issue. But when you were on a job, just let us try to not, just let us try to be professional and try not to be cursing that much, okay? Try not to be smoking weed on the job either. If you smoke, I don't condone smoking. I don't believe in smoking. I don't think it's good for you. However, if you smoke, just try not to smoke on the job. Hold off on it. You see, don't drink on the job either. Hold off on it. Try to ensure that you're professional. Okay? Now, another thing, and this is something that I guess people, there are certain parts of the city, parts of the country that are known, that have positives, that other parts of the country may not have. It's a known fact. It's just like how everybody will believe and say that Orange Walk has the best tacos, right? But I'm sure there's some of us here in Belize City will say, well, Miss Lady make the best tacos. You understand? But it's a relative thing. And maybe it's because Orange Walk, that's a lot of them make tacos and it's really nice. So there's particular areas that will be known for certain good things, and other parts, you know, we will be known for good things. For example, if you want good nightlife. Now, I'm not somebody who goes out, so I'm just saying though about good nightlife or about a nightlife in general. Belize City. So when you're gonna knock Belize City, at least know that, okay, there will be some nightlife in Belize City. Okay, if nightlife is your thing, you're gonna get your nightlife in Belize City. When I lived in Belmopan, there wasn't much nightlife there. But I wasn't into nightlife. I loved the quietness, and oh my gosh, it was so peaceful and it was beautiful, and everywhere was just, you know, well manicured. They cut their yard. I loved it. But you're not gonna find that here in Belize City like that so easily. But we have our positives too, and there will be some yards with some beautiful, well manicured lawn, beautiful trees, beautiful flowers. But we have some positives. You see, Orange Walk has their positive. Cayo has their positive. You see, Toledo, Stan Creek, right? Corozal, San Pedro, Kikaka, everywhere they have their positive. It's just like I staunchly believe that every single person has a talent. Every single person has a talent. You just have to look at yourself and see what talent, what you are good at. But everybody has one. So that is what that's what I want to say. Now, when it comes to guys, I know some of you guys, but I have to tell you because this is a fact. For those women who are coming down here and want to, find a good Belizean guy, this is gonna be a good one now. Who wants a Belizean guy? Let me just read this before I get into that. All right, thank you. Yes, good night, Rachel Ann Balderramos. Good night to your Spandi. Thank you, Leroy Matura. Yes, thanks. I'm trying to provide positive information to all our people worldwide indeed, so thank you for saying that. And Chrissy Moore said, on it, Johnny smoke weed on the job. Oh my gosh, on the job. Bernadette, yes, you're correct, Bernadette Miller. Bernadette Dean Miller said it's all about training. Chrissy Moore said Orange Walk do have the best tacos. They do have delicious tacos, trust me. Antonia Oba says, okay, well, I don't know what's that one about. I guess she's not understanding what is being said. Rachel Ann said, working for people in the business place, bosses want to disrespect you and curse you out, belittle you. Leroy Matura says, 101% agree. Chrissy Moore says, only the PM of Belize think we don't have talent. Ruben Martinez says, I dislike workers or company that says they will come and get the work done. I have had terrible experience with this. This one cabinet guy took 8 months to finish my cabinets and had collected most of his money before the job was done. Another company resurfaced my deck and windows in February. Up to now, he's still not finished. This is in Belmopan. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Ruben. I'm sorry. I think living overseas and trying to get stuff done is difficult in Belize. I agree with you. Ruben. I agree with you. But Antonia, I don't know who you are, but I think you would have needed to listen to the entire show. This is not about talking about my people. This is not about talking about. This is about informing what to expect in Belize. All right. So try to understand what the show is about. Again, we have to be able to discuss so that when people come to our country, they will already know what to expect to some extent, and we can also put our best foot forward, because by identifying some of these areas, we can then address them. All right? It's difficult, trust me, when I listened to that video, what they were saying about, about Belize, but primarily generalizing it, when in fact they ought to have just really zeroed in on where they were at. It peeved me, but I said, you know what, let me try to deal with this in a very constructive manner, all right? And because that's what the Zenaida Moya show is all about. So one last thing though, guys. So when people come down here, because this is another issue I've been seeing, so you will have some foreigners coming down wanting a nice girlfriend or wife, because sometimes they will say it. And yes, Love Belize says, expect long lines at the immigration department and a mess at the lands department. Belize is still not a real country. Oh gosh. Thank you, Leroy. Thank you. Thanks for saying I'm doing a wonderful job. Thank you. So I want to tell you that. So when these men will come, don't want a girlfriend and so forth, know that you will find a lot of, because a lot of foreigners will come, they want a nice girlfriend and so forth. Okay? And you do have a lot of wonderful, beautiful, talented Belizean women. A lot. You understand? And I do know a lot of them do have kids, and that's not an issue for them. But what is an issue now is when they will come here and expect that to, for example, even take advantage of some of these women. Now that's a no-no. And you have to look at it though, that the fact that when the women come down now and they want a good Belizean man, sometimes they can't get it. They can't find those persons sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Either they're taken, or sometimes it's just the culture. I'm not saying all, a lot of Belizean men, they are promiscuous. They will cheat. I don't condone it. I will not condone someone who cheats on me, and that's a no-no. And I guess that's why, I got an annulment. I got a divorce and an annulment, because I will not tolerate anyone cheating on me. I'm not going to tolerate it just for the sake of putting on a facade, or just because I'm a Christian, or just because I'm a Catholic. I will not do it. That's just me. I have known particular individuals who they will come off as though they're the most holiest person in the world, but their other half is cheating on them, and they are crying, and behind closed doors is not good. Well, that's not me. I won't tolerate it. You see? So it's almost, if you want to come to Belize and you expect, okay, you're going to find a guy who won't cheat on you, the odds of that happening may be slim, because those guys may already be taken. The others, I'm sorry. So this is one time when it's like they talk about bring sand. You hear the saying about don't take sand to the beach. You may have to take your sand to this beach here. All right? To this Belize beach. You're going to have to do it. Okay? So, Chrissy Moore says, when tourists come to Belize, we should always say Belize is beautiful, always be positive. I fully 100% agree with you. So, guys, that's what I want to tell you. Chrissy says, most women stay with their cheating husbands just because they are afraid of what the people will say. 100% agree, Chrissy. 100% agree. Rachel Balderrama says, many men come here, married Belizean women for citizenship, bringing their family already married. You see, and that's not good. You understand? You see? So that is the issue, guys. Those are some of the things when people come to our country, they expect certain things, and I just feel the need that I have to and say, I don't know why men cheat. And to a great extent, I know some of you guys might say, well, women cheat. You are correct, some do. But to a great extent, if you look at the history of that woman, you will find out, or that young girl, you will find out it's because someone cheated on her. I'm not condoning it. I prefer stay single. But to every action, there's a reaction. And so if for those people who want to come to our country, just know that we are good people in general. We're hardworking. We're industrious. Like, I had to address a certain individual recently, and this is my last thing I'll say, because he generalized and he was saying, like, we don't have any pride, in taking care of some colonial buildings. And I had to put that person in check and tell him, don't be saying nonsense like that if you have never lived in Belize. Because they saw a short little video, very short, a little street of video, saw some colonial buildings and want to lump the entire country and say that the entire country, all Belizeans, have no pride in themselves. Can you imagine that? Just because of a few colonial houses on one street. So you see what people, just for the sake of YouTube and some of these entities, that they get a chance to post things on Facebook and so forth, that they can knock down an entire country. Belize is so small. Whatever they say about us can damage us and hurt us, real estate-wise, tourism-wise, financial-wise, investment-wise. You understand? We have to nip it in the bud. If it means that you have to go there and address that person decently, no need to be cursing anybody now, but constructively, try to, at the end of that particular, I wrote that particular person, I'm not one who normally, will go and comment on people's things, but I did it. This was on YouTube. And when I finished with that, the person, I said I would have understood. I said certain things. And then afterwards I said, he responded. And then I said, well, if you had said that, because he said, well, his mother is was Belizean, I guess not living here anymore. And he owns some land here. I said, yeah, but have you ever lived in Belize? And he hasn't. So for him to just make that generalized statement, it wasn't proper. But at the end of the day, he did say, well, I said, if you had said some people, then, and then he did afterwards say, okay, well, some. And so I was like, okay then. Okay, but I had to do it because I'm not just going to leave that comment and you have the whole millions of people can read that and they will think that the entire Belize are people that are lazy and don't have any pride in themselves and are not productive. No, man, I'm not going to do that. So, yes, Brian says, to be honest, we are peaceful people. Yes, we have some unknowns. However, every majority do good. So with that said, I want to end off by saying, be positive, guys. Let's put our best foot forward. Let us try to ensure that we correct each other if we're doing wrong. And I mean all of us. Let's try. If you know that a particular carpenter or contractor is known for, making us look bad, try to tell them that these people can write up about us and give the whole country a bad name. At the end of the day, Belize is a small country. We do rely a lot on foreigners, on investors coming to the country, on tourists coming to the country, on retirees coming to live in our country. We do rely on that to a great extent, especially for foreign currency coming into our country as well. So it is important for us to address these issues, but let us do so positively. With that said, I want to say that this show was brought to you through the courtesy of Sea Belize Vacation Rentals and Tours. We are located at 5 miles Philip Wilson Highway, just 1 minute from the Halover Bridge. So if you haven't visited here before, you can go on the website. The website is www.seabelizevacationrental.com. And the phone number is 501-615-4465, 67 or 85. So give us a call. It's a beautiful 40-foot pool. You can enjoy if you want to dive. There's a 6-foot part you can dive. If you just want to hang around, there's a shower area. So I just want to tell you to continue supporting us. I just want to thank all of you who have been to Sea Belize Vacation Rentals. Thank you, and we do cater to both locals and foreigners alike, and we appreciate both. All right, none is more important than the other because at the end of the day, I'm Belizean, so I have to appreciate my Belizean, customers, and and of course I do appreciate the foreign customers as well. So thank you very much. I want to thank Kelvin LeBron Moya Flowers as usual. Kelvin is the technician. He is the one operating the master controls in the studio. So I want to thank him. I want to thank Ben Ruiz. I want to thank Michael Salazar at Max Television. Thank you very much. Leroy Matura says, yes, I agree. Our government can beautify our Belize. However, we can do wonders together. Thanks, Chrissy Morph. Thank you very much. I will keep it up. Thank you. Thank you, Norma Gomez. You're right. Something to expect. Everything expensive. You are correct. Let's continue to live in peace, indeed, Leroy. And thank you, Overcomer Nessa says, warmest pool, great pool. Thank you very much. Rachel Ann Balarama says, Kelvin. He says, big up your son, making your show awesome. Thanks, Kelvin. And thanks, Carmen Yunus. Thank you, everybody. I love you all. Next week, Tuesday, right here, same place, we're scheduled to have guests in studio. I believe Mr. Belize Peace Movement will be in here. I believe Bobby Lopez and I don't know, I guess Mr. Hubert Enriquez, Paul Morgan, whoever, we will be discussing the redistricting. So again, I hope to see you all here. Have a wonderful and pleasant good night. Good night, Beverly Williams. Good night, Kelvin. Go ahead and play the ad. Thank you guys. Good night. See you soon. All right? Go ahead.
Looking for the ultimate sea view getaway? Then see Belize Vacation Rentals and Tours, located at 5 miles Philip Boson Highway near the Halover Bridge, is your perfect sea view getaway. Come relax in one of our beautiful air-conditioned sea view apartments, studios, sea view rooms, or suites, all with flat screen television, hot and cold bath, and unlimited access to our spacious and refreshing 40 by 16 foot pool with 6 to 4 feet depth. So you can enjoy that fun and refreshing dive or dip in the pool. We sell ice cold drinks, so you can relax and unwind on our overwater or poolside decks. Contact us at 501-615-4485, 65 or 67. Looking for the ultimate sea view getaway? Then see Belize Vacation Rentals and Tours, located at 5 miles Philip Boson Highway near the Halover Bridge, is your perfect sea view getaway. Come relax in one of our beautiful air-conditioned sea view apartments, studios, sea view rooms, Buying or selling land can be a daunting experience. Don't leave things to chance. When buying or selling land in Belize, seek the professional real estate services of Shepherd Belize Real Estate. Benefit from our extensive local and international network to find your dream home or to move your property from selling to sold. Our land consultancy services also include appraisals, conveyances, registrations, surveys, transfers, title searches, and the preparation of all other legal documentation and land transaction processes. We are located at number 2 Corner King and Tiger Streets in Belize City. Give us a call at 614-3064 or visit us at www.shepherdbelizerealty.com. Buying